welcome to IRL GT4 summer season, and it's round 4, I believe. And we're heading to Red Bull Short. As if this track wasn't short enough, we're gonna do the short version, and it's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna end up on top here. Jeremy started the season on a high, although he's had some issues in the last 2 races, which means that Aaron, which is Susim's we're looking at right now, has taken 2 victories in a row right now, and well, he's definitely looking like he's really on a charge for that championship. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Jeremy can respond to that, if he can respond to that. Well, hello to you, LeBrun. And yeah, as I was saying, it is the two Nissan driving teams who is definitely looking the strongest at the moment, with the real championship contenders in their teams of Aaron and Jeremy. But there is also other strong teams out there. You do have the Mobile One Vodafone Racing. It's a long name I rarely remember, but Mobile One Vodafone Racing, yeah. Also decent team, obviously with Volnik David. I can see him here today, so we'll have a look at him as he is out on track in his Mercedes. He seemed to struggle with his pace this season. Not really been up there as we thought he would. His teammate Jared Fosbury, who doesn't look like he's gonna be here today, has actually seemed just a tad bit stronger this season, which is a surprise. So, but still early on in the season, things can change. Suddenly we see him back on pace again, and does that sound better, Bram? Hopefully it does. But alright, good. And we can see that, well, it kind of looks like Volnik and Chris is having a small battle in quali. Don't really think that's the best way of doing quali, but alright, goodish. Just gonna have to do them. Maybe better now. But yeah, Chris also been, well, he's pretty much been here from the start. He seems like he's struggled a little in this summer season. Haven't really had the best of luck. Yeah, you might be right there actually. As we see that for the moment, it is Aaron who is the strong, who has done the best lap. And here Andre Pestana, I believe it is, Portuguese driver in NAS Racing team. Wasn't there last week. His teammate Jorge Correa was, but he's not gonna be here this week, so they're one short once again, but we'll see if they can make something out of it driving in his NSX. You know, it's gonna be interesting because I'm gonna be missing. I'm gonna forget that it's the short track too. Thinking about what you mentioned there, Bran. As we see Andre Pastana coming around the last corner, well, second to last corner, and into the pit. Lance LeBrun seems like he's just went off. And then of course Rob Small struggled all season, really struggled. Alright, so again, so we should be going into quali. Some drivers missing here. I can't see any of the Nexus team drivers, which is unfortunate. Alright, so I've just gotten confirmation that Jared Fosbury will not be here today, unfortunately. That leaves Volnik alone for today as we are watching Jeremy Pope. It's pretty much been handed GTS championships after, well, one after the other, to be honest. I don't think I have, Bran. As we see Jeremy start his lap. Will the reigning champion be dethroned this season? Still remains to be seen. Highly doubt it though. I mean, Aaron Timberlake, who is at the top at the moment, has looked strong, but knowing Jeremy, I just have a feeling he's gonna get back up there, and I believe he's still leading the championship by a small tad. I believe it's about a few points. But Jeremy's first lap is gonna be a 10.5 off Aaron. What about Chris Ryan, who seems like he might be in Ghost? Oh, well, he's actually been riding here. Well, Chris, obviously there is a favorite for the win of the season. And, well, that is Jeremy. And I believe we're gonna see Chris starting a lap now with his hazard slide on, as he is 6th at the moment, 2.5 off Vulnik. But he's back in Ghost. But there's always a championship favorite. There's even a championship favorite before the season starts, Chris. And let's be honest, with the last few seasons, it is Jeremy. And it looks like Chris is finally gonna start a real lap, as he's been in and out of AI. Goes into this first corner and into AI again. We'll have a look at his teammate Lance LeBrun. Confox drivers pretty much always been up there, but not really been able to challenge Jeremy and his team, which is Team Calsonic at the moment. Alright, so he's won 2 seasons. And Luke won 1, but still, Luke isn't here anymore. I suggest you focus on your driving right now, Chris. As we see that Lance is going into the second to the last corner. Nice and tidy on the entry into the last corner, clipping the curb quite heavily. Car looks a little unstable on the exit, and it's gonna be an improvement, but still 7/10 behind Jeremy. And now we'll have a look at Vulnik David, German driver in the Merc. At the moment he's only just under 2/10 behind Chris, but he has struggled this season, so almost home soil for him to take. Maybe that's the time when he starts to perform back to his usual self. As we see him going into the last corner, it's gonna be a not a 1, but a 53.6, which puts him 4th. Just a few tenths ahead of Chris. For anyone watching in the wide load, Billy, that would be Billy Mossum. I don't believe he's actually in the GT4 season, but he is in IRL though. So I don't know. He might have just joined the lobby because he saw people he knew was in it. have a look at LeBrun on to another lap into turn 2. No, I'm telling you, if I was driving right now, I would have gone straight on there every time. Around turn 4 and 5, on to a short straight before we head into turn 6, which is also the second to last corner. Will it be an improvement? Last corner. He's 9/10 behind Jeremy at the moment. He will be closer. No, he won't actually. He was just behind his time. And it's a 51.8 set by Aaron at the moment, which is provisional pole. We will have a look at Chris Ryan again. Fox driver as is slightly improved. Going on to another lap. Clips the curb in the first corner. I gotta say that the car looks a little unstable as he goes into turn 2. Wide on the entry. Then into the left-hander. For this short straight. Will it be an improvement this time? Second to last corner and into the pit, so as we see Aaron Timberlake 2/10 ahead of Jeremy Pope at the moment in the lead. On to lap, and that did not look like the best first corner. However, it does seem like he managed to carry through a lot of pace, and it did. He's currently up on his time as he heads into the second to last corner. Fast right-hander. Looks pretty nice and tidy there. Last corner, will it be an improvement as it goes over the line? It's a 51.6, which extends his lead to Jeremy by 1.5 tenths, and Aaron might be the driver to beat today. However, I don't see his teammate, which is also his brother, Jordan. He seems absent today, which is not a good team for the team championship. As we'll have a look at Andre Pastana. Can he improve his time and get further up on the grid? 6th position at the moment. And in the last corner, second to last corner, he loses the back end, and into the pit we go. Gonna have a look at Rob Small instead then. Just started the lap. He's 7th at the moment, so he will be eager to get a better grid position as he goes into the second corner. Then into this right-hander right after. He's up on his time currently. If it is enough, however, I don't know. He might be able to steal a little slipstream here from Chris as Chris moves over before the second to last corner. Rob getting the car through nicely into the last corner. It's gonna be a 53.
it's up to 5th place at the moment, just a few tenths behind Lance and a few tenths ahead of Volnik. And we can see that Chris now looks like he wants a little slipstream from Rob, but Rob moves out of the way. Chris at the moment in 3rd place, so in a good position before the race starts as he goes into the last corner. What will it be? It's gonna be a slight improvement to 52.8, and I've just noticed that Aaron has actually made an even better lap with a 51.4, which means that Jeremy for the moment is 6 tenths behind Aaron. Volnik David has improved his lap too. He's just over a tenth behind Chris. Into the last corner. And Volnik on to a lap. Down on his time at the moment, so it's probably not going to be an improvement unless he can pull out some tenths in the 2 last corners now, as it looks like he gets a drift on the car and dives into the pit. What about Lance? Is he he's about to start a lap? But he aborts it to go into the pit after we saw Aaron spinning. I think he had done there. Rob Small, however, he's still out on track, looking to set a better lap. We've started finals, which means that it's gonna be Aaron Timberlake on pole ahead of Jeremy Pope and Chris Ryan in 3rd. And by that, they're lined up on the grid. We see Volnik David in 4th, Lance LeBrun in 5th, Rob Small in 6th, and Andre Pastana in 7th. Hear some cars revving their engines. Oh, and I think I've seen it looks like Chris might have jumped the start. He has, however, moved over. As we can see that Jeremy and Aaron has a clash in turn 1. Still Aaron ahead of Lance, actually. So Lance had a pretty protracted start there. He started 5th, he's up to 2nd, although Jeremy on his inside gets past. Oh, and look at this, Rob against Lance. Confox against Team Kelsonic. Lance is still ahead, but Rob on the inside into the second to last corner, can't get past it this time. He's gonna look to have a good run in the last corner here. Oh, and we can see that some drivers has gotten slowdown penalties. Lance with a 3.5 second slowdown penalty. Jeremy with half a second slowdown penalty. Aaron is just flying away at the moment with a 1.2 second gap down to Jeremy. But it's really the fight behind her that looks the most interesting at the moment. We can see that Chris Ryan has gotten past Andre Pestana at the moment so far, and we can see that Lance and Rob are battling. Rob also has a penalty, but it's only a second, actually 9/10, while Lance runs wide in the second to last corner. And has 5 seconds of penalty now. That's not what you want. As we get a beautiful picture of people going into turn 1, and it's Volnik. I didn't see exactly what happened there, but he has spun and he has lost a lot of time by that. On the other hand, you can see the two Confox drivers of Laz and Chris fighting off Andre Pestana here. So only lap 3, guys. There's a lot of laps left to do it on. As we see Andre Pestana, he's looking for a way past Lance. On the other hand, we can see that the gaps up front has gotten a little bigger, with Aaron leading 2.5, almost 3 seconds ahead of Jeremy. Jeremy then 2.5 seconds ahead of Rob, then Rob 2.5 seconds ahead of Chris. Chris 2 seconds ahead of his teammates, as we see that I think there was contact between Pestana and Lance. Can't say I'm certain, as I didn't get a really good camera angle, but we can see that I think there was, and I think Andre has just slowed down to let Lance pass, and we can see that Volnik is chasing these guys. He wants to show that pace he had in the GR3 season. As we go on to lap 5. Ooh, and Pestana's NSX is looking a little unsteady on the exit of turn 1. Although he is close to Lance, and he will... Well, he seems to have went straight on in turn 2. Can't say for sure what happened there, but he went on the grass at least. And we can see that Volnik is hungry for points. He's chasing Lance, as we see Lance go very wide, and it has 5 seconds of penalty right now. It's gonna be hard to get rid of, well, almost 7 seconds of penalty actually. And I'll tell you, it's gonna be hard to get rid of those 7 seconds of time penalty without losing a position or two. As we see him going wide again in turn 1. And we can see that Volnik and Lance is taking very different lines into turn 2. Ooh. And Volnik around the outside of Lance in turn 5. Turn 4, I mean. As we see that Lance is looking for a gap into the second to last corner. He's, however, not finding it. See that up ahead, Aaron is just pulling away. Jeremy is slightly getting catched by his teammate actually. Same with and Rob is getting catched by Chris Ryan, so there is gonna be battles. However, the battle at the moment seems to be between Lance and Vulnik. One thing is for sure, if this is just the first 7 laps, there's gonna be a lot of penalties accumulated in this race. And we can see that Lance is right on Vulnik's rear. And Lance isn't really close enough to do anything yet. I believe you also saw Pestana in the background behind there. He's over 7 seconds behind these two drivers. There's a lot of laps left though, so if he can get back in the rhythm, he can definitely catch on the both of them. You can see that Aaron is he's still pulling away. He's going for his 3rd straight win right now. And Jeremy picking up more penalty, which makes it even more likely that Aaron will come out victorious. A driver who is sitting in a good position right now is Chris Ryan. However, he's catched up to Rob. Both Rob and his teammate Jeremy has penalties. Chris doesn't. I know it's still early in the race, but those penalties could be crucial in the end. The question is though, it's not a long track, not a lot of possibilities for overtakes, so where will he do it and how will he do it? I would say certainly into turn 2 or into turn 5 would probably be the 2 best opportunities. And we see Chris Ryan close on the back of Rob Small going into turn 2. However, not close enough to make him move. Rob seems a little unstable in some of the corners though. On the other hand, Andre Pestana is now 19 seconds behind Lance, so I'm not sure what's happened. He might have done a pit stop. Lance is keeping up with Vulnik, but barely, as we see that Chris is going side by side with Rob Small into turn 1. Rob manages to stay ahead of Chris at the moment. Hello to you, Louis, and nice to see you checking in on the stream. And as we can see, Chris is still behind Rob Small. However, he's really challenging Small, and he's going side by side with Rob going into turn 1 once again. Will this be the lap he's able to get past? Ooh, Rob goes wide. They're still side by side. Inside line for Chris, and the overtake has been done. Although it is still 23 laps left, so Rob can take this back. On the other hand, Chris is looking strong today, and
he might be looking to go for a podium today. As we can see that he's slowly pulling away. You want my predictions for F1, Louis? I mean real life F1 tomorrow? And Pestana is now even further behind Volnik. 34 seconds. Alright, so there is no one attacking each other at the moment, so my predictions for tomorrow's F1 race. That's a hard one. I do think Leclerc will take his first win. I do think he's gonna do that. Oh, and Chris has finally gotten a penalty wheel that hindered him at catching Jeremy though. For second, Louis, I would say I'm gonna say Bottas. Yeah, Bottas, Verstappen in third, Hamilton in fifth, fourth, and Vettel in fifth. Don't think any of the midfield drivers will be able to keep Ham and Vettel behind them. As you can see that Rob and Jeremy are both doing their pit stops. That leaves Aaron still in the lead, 21 seconds ahead of Chris. Chris then in second, 22.5 seconds ahead of his teammate Lance. Lance, who doesn't have more than half a second penalty anymore. Well, Louis, well, that's an interesting question. First of all, are you thinking about the dry lineups for the summer season we're putting up in IRL, or the regular seasons that's starting a little later? As we see, Chris is in the pit. And where will he come out? We can see that Jeremy is in the last corner. And Chris is gonna be behind Rob and Jeremy, so he's gonna have to do it all over again. As we see that Rob is lapping Andre Pestana. Pestana really not having the best race right now. And we have Aaron in the pit. He should be coming out well ahead of, well, pretty much everybody. Maybe Volnik might challenge him a little, but Volnik is a lap behind. As we see then Lance bidding, Chris did get out ahead of Jeremy and Rob actually, so he, however, is under attack from Jeremy. Well, for the summer season, Louis, I gotta admit, I hoped it would be easier to predict people's pace before we were going to put them into cars, as it will be realistic cars. But then again, after playing the game and see some of the drivers and their times, I realized that it's gonna be really difficult to predict everyone who's actually applied for the summer season already now, because the times vary a lot, and some drivers I would have probably put in one of the top teams now looks like they can't be in one of the top teams. Other drivers who would have probably looked like they should be in one of the worst teams. Ooh, as there is a touch between Chris and Jeremy in turn 1. However, Jeremy is slowing down, which then leaving Chris in second place. So he realized his mistake there. So I don't have a straightforward answer to you there, Louis. However, I have been thinking about it, and I will address it probably tomorrow in the admin chat, so you will hear more about it soon. But I am telling you though, it is gonna be difficult to put people in the car they actually should be in. But then again, we just gotta have to do our best to try to get everyone in their proper car. We can see that Jeremy has been able to pass Chris now. However, Jeremy has 4 seconds of penalty and still counting. Probably the race we've seen the most penalties so far. Chris now is getting under attack from the other Calsonic driver of Rob Small. However, considering their pit stops, I do believe both the Calsonic drivers might have fueled their car a little lighter than Chris have done. So might indicate some different strategies here which could favor Chris, but also it could favor the Calsonic drivers of Jeremy and Rob. So that is hard to predict at the moment. One thing is for sure, Aaron is 36 seconds in the lead and is definitely looking like he's having his 3rd win of the season in a row. And I gotta be honest, he's kind of moving up as the championship favorite with the pace he's shown the last few races. You can see that the gap further down the field is big. It is really this battle for second that is spicy at the moment. For the normal season hour, Louis, that is a little easier considering it's equal cars and 2 divisions. So, but obviously with how some people have seems to just be struggling on this game and other people seem to excel at it, it's gonna need some thinking. And obviously the normal season isn't starting until at the end / after, well, it is after the summer, I would say. So you're gonna get updated on that later too. As we see that Chris is in 3rd. Jeremy seems to be pulling away a little now. However, Chris is still managing to keep his teammate Rob, not Chris's teammate, but Jeremy's teammate behind him. Lance Hour seems to be struggling a little today, not really on the other top guy's pace right now. As we see that Rob is looking feisty. Oh, and there is a small touch between Rob and Chris in the 2nd to last corner. There's no change in the position at the moment. However, Rob is close. He will be looking to make a move soon. And I gotta admit, I have no idea if the drivers have made their one and only stop or if they're making other stops, but we will see later as we see that Rob is going for a dive into turn 2 on Chris. He is ahead at the moment, but can he stay ahead though? As we see that at the moment it is also Aaron who has the fastest lap. So Chris dropped down to 4th now. He's still there with Rob though. Not sure I didn't get to see that last message of you, Louis. So not sure what you said. Da kommer jag om en 10 minuters tid. Kan du ta en minut, Mara? Alright, sorry about that. So we can see that it is still this battle for second going on as we see that Rob has been passed by Chris again, and these two are really going at each other today. Both Louis. There will be pre-season test races. I'm thinking about maybe a few more pre-season races than last year, considering how it just looks very difficult to predict drivers' pace this season. There's also going to be a discussion, obviously. So for the realistic cars, well, there's gonna be a discussion. I'm hoping to do a few small test races before we start that season 2, although that season isn't far away now, so but I have an idea of a lot of the guys. I have an idea of a lot of the guys' pace, as I'm, well, you know what it is, I'm sweating F1, let's be honest, and I'm driving with a lot of the people who has signed up for it, so I do get to see an idea of their pace on a regular daily basis. Driver of the month, yeah. Wouldn't say you're totally off there. I have been thinking about that for this next season. However, though, you do realize we have an admin chat for this stuff, right? Just wondering. As there is 8 laps left, Chris seems to be pulling a little away from Rob at the moment. To have a little more focus on the race again, we can see that Aaron is well ahead at the moment. Almost 40 seconds ahead of Jeremy at the moment, so it's definitely gonna be a win for him. To be honest, Louis, if you have any more ideas, I would rather that you put them in the admin chat, as that is
well, one of the things the admin chat is for, then this chat as it's gonna be hard to say if I'm gonna remember what is said in this chat, and it's just easier if you put them in the admin's chat then. And I mean, if you have any ideas, I want you to put them in there too. It's easier than just me coming with ideas. If everybody just put all of their ideas in, we discuss them. Yeah. And we can see that Chris has pulled away from Rob. Rob doesn't seem like he's able to stay with Chris right now, which is kind of a shame. Don't want the last battle on the track to die out, but it is what it is, it happens. And if you're on after this race, Louis, join my party when I invite you. I have just realized actually that if Aaron keeps up this pace, he will be able to keep, shall we see, he's gonna be lapping Rob in not long, same with Chris, and he might actually end up lapping Jeremy too. As we see Aaron, who's just been completely dominant today. I like turtles. We can see that Volnik David is in the pit. And he's been there for some time, I believe. Andre Pestana in 6th place at the moment. He was there in the fight for 5th, I believe it was earlier, but had some sort of a moment. Lance, on the other hand, 13 seconds behind Rob. I believe he's then actually caught a little time lately. Everything, Jared, everything. You missed everything. Well, there has been quite an interesting battle between Chris and Rob today. They've been switching positions quite a few times. However, in the end it looks like Chris is just faster today than Rob. Well, I mean, I don't feel like it's necessary for you to join me in comms right now, as it is only 3 laps left. But you will join me in the party after. I'll tell you that. And I gotta say, what's really interesting now is, can Aaron... Well, Aaron's actually lapped Rob now, which might be the reason that Rob lost a little more time to Chris. Aaron going into the second to last corner for starting his last lap now. 45 seconds ahead of Jeremy. It's been absolutely dominance today. Jeremy challenged Aaron at the beginning, but Aaron has really just stayed ahead and never let the foot off the throttle. As we can see that he's about to lap Chris on the final lap. Chris might be able to stay ahead. And Aaron Timberlake for the driver for team, well, Timber Snake Motorsport, going around the last corner to take the win. His third win in a row, really solidifying his position in the championship, and what a dominant win it has been. You see that Jeremy is coming into turn 2 now on his last lap, so yeah, I don't know another way to put it than just total dominance today. We can see that Rob Small and Lance LeBrun has finished their race. We're waiting on Jeremy Pope as he's going into the last corner now. We see Andre Pestana a lap down. After that again, also in the last corner, as we see Jeremy crossing the line in second. Andre Pestana will be 6th. Chris Ryan coming home in 3rd place. And Volnik David looks like he's spun in the last corner, actually, as he's coming. 12 laps down. 13 laps down. Alright, I'm not sure what happened to him then, but something is seriously wrong, I believe. He can't have been 13 laps down. Well, he can have, but I see, Chris. So that's why he spun then, I guess. Well, it's been an interesting race. Might have called out Jeremy as the championship favorite before the season started and before today's race. However, we can't look away from the fact that Aaron just won his 3rd straight race right now, which does put him in the favorite discussion. He, as of right now, he is the favorite, but of course there is more tracks. And with saying that, the next track we're going to will be Goodwood, and if I'm not wrong, that should be next Saturday at the same time as always, 8 p.m. Yeah, you did tell me, Chris, but well, I'm gonna stand for what I said. I did believe Jeremy was the championship favorite. I do still believe he's one of the favorites, but with this pace Aaron is showing, I gotta admit that he is looking the strongest at the moment. And I gotta give it to you too, Chris. You did show some great pace there for big parts of the race. It was unfortunate with your start, but you did end up in 3rd. So, I mean, it's a podium, so congratulations on that. I believe today, the best position you could have gotten was 2nd, so Aaron has just been way too dominant today. There was a lot of penalties out there today. Well, by saying that, I would have to say that my driver of today would have to be... I'm gonna be so boring, but I'm gonna have to say Aaron. Like, he's so close to lapping the whole field in the end. and what was it, 43, 44 seconds ahead of second place. Just dominant. So with that, I have nothing more to add at the moment. This has been IRL GT4 Round 5 around Red Bull Short. I've been Sondre Sorhaug, aka C3, your host today. And by that, have a nice night and thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more.